is coming. There'll be no war. Peace will take over the land. No more broken heart, abandoned and alone. God will separate the right from wrong. Then we'll be changed in a moment, caught up in the twinkling of an eye.
Hey, is my microphone on? 1, 2, 1, 2. Are you ready? Hey, thank you for tapping in with Life with Lizzy. I'm Lizzy, right here at Believe Radio, your 24-hour inspiration and gospel radio station. Listen, you got to believe in something, so you might as well believe in us, child. Listen, Lifeliners, thank you for joining me. I know it looks a little different. I'm on the set. We are tapping into something. You'll be able to figure that out a little later, what we're doing. But nevertheless, I am glad that you have joined me right here, 12 noon every Saturday. You join me. And I want to say thank you. Do me a favor, tag a neighbor, call a friend, let them know Lizzy is in and she is about to talk live, child. Yes, I am. Listen, how about last week? Y'all, thank you so very much. You guys have given me feedback. Listen, my inbox is on fire. Thank you for taking the challenge to say, I'm going to date myself. And some of you have emailed me, you have sent me messages, and I'm going to be honest, y'all had your girl in tears. So I am going to be sending out more than just one journal because there is no way in the world that I could choose. I thank you for sharing your life stories with me. Listen, y'all lifeliners for real. So with that being said, I want to also say thank you to my sponsors this week. Listen, Strategic Strategies, Royal, who is that? The Royal, the Princess, the Duchess Evan. Thank you. You guys make sure that Lizzy is right here every Saturday, 12 noon. Listen, y'all, I'm so excited. I'm almost stepping over my words because my friend is here. I call her sis, and y'all know I don't use that term loosely, child. We'll come back and talk about why I don't. But I'm excited because my sis is here and she is coming to the stage, or she is coming to the table to talk life with Lizzy. She is my sis. I call her Dr. Amy Rucker. Welcome, Doc, to the show. Hey, ma'am, how are you?
I'm absolutely wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for your yes to come and rock with me on Life with Lizzy, honey, because we're about to talk all things life. I believe that if we can talk it out, then we can walk it out, right?
Come on.
I am glad that you are here. And I'm so happy that you said yes to this conversation. I shared with you and we talked about how this even came about. And I woke up and I kept hearing the word adjust. And so I said, no other person that I know that can handle this topic and do it some great, listen, she gonna land this plane today because that's just what she do. Who else can talk about adjustment like Dr. Amy Rucker? So before we hop into that conversation of adjustment, how are you?
I'm absolutely wonderful, ma'am. I'm excited to be on the show. Listen, Life with Lizzy. Congratulations to you for all that you're doing in the kingdom of God. I mean, you are so amazing, ma'am. I mean, just to have a friend like you it's mind-blowing. I'm absolutely honored that we have the opportunity to do life together. Right. And so, but I'm doing well, man. I can't
look amazing.
Thank you. Listen, looking and feeling like $1 million bucks, huh?
Listen, baby, you got oil wells in your pocket, honey. You're looking great. You're looking great, sis. Thank you so much. And I am honored to do life with you and to have a life conversation, right? Because life's you sometimes, and there are times where we can be in certain seasons, and the season requires us to not only shift, but it requires us to adjust, right? And I kept hearing that this morning, adjust. An adjustment, it's nothing really big, but it's a small or a slight movement that we can make in order for us to achieve the desired benefit, right? Case in point, if I want to see something and I can't really see it like I should see it, a slight adjustment will cause me to see a thing in a different set of lenses. It'll give me a different perspective of a thing. When you hear the word adjustment, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Or tell us, is there what when was there or is there has there ever been a time where adjustment or adjusting to certain things saved your life?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I've taken some major adjustments in my life, man. I could name, the list could go on, from breaking a kneecap to losing a job to your mother having a stroke to going through a divorce, to losing more jobs or losing opportunities or whatever the case may be, right? There is always going to be something that's happening in life that is an adjustment. But one of the greatest ones, you said something in particular. You said one that actually saved my life. And I'm so glad, I'm so mad you didn't have me on the one with dating yourself. Like, I could have been all on that one, because that was the adjustment. I was in a relationship that loving them was killing me. And God
Wow.
said, enough is enough. And I have to adjust you so that I can add to you. Watch this, because the word adjust is made up in two parts. The first part is, it's called add, and then it's just. I'm adding just because of who I am. I'm
Wow.
adding. And so sometimes we don't like the adjustment, because sometimes adjustment comes with increase, but it also comes, guess what? With decrease. There are some things, Lizzy, that I had to let go in order for it to save my life, because God knew the adjustment would be greater later. And so I
Ma'am,
sat right there.
listen, that is listen, Lifeliners, she got me stuttering. Did y'all hear that? That it would be greater later if I made that simple adjust. And sometimes, and we say it's simple after the fact, 2020 is always hindsight. But when you're in the middle and you're sitting in that thing and you're in the emotion of it, and you're saying, I don't want to adjust, because sometimes adjustment can come after your pride. Because I'm not moving.
Right.
I was here first. And I'm not saying sorry. I'm not apologizing. But sometimes just that small adjustment will get you the reward. That
Listen,
small adjustment will get you. It's the small thing. And I believe that we are in a season and we are in a time that if we can just adjust just a little bit, if we can just adjust our focus, if we can just adjust our attention, if we can adjust, no matter if you're in the boardroom, the prayer room, whatever room, there is a thing, there is a blessing in knowing how to adjust.
oh, absolutely.
Not just go through it, but I'm going to adjust. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to step into it. I'm going to touch it. I'm going to receive it. And I'm just going to move just a little. I'm going to adjust how I perceive a thing. How can we say this? Perspective is everything. How important is it when life is life in us, that we adjust our perspective?
Oh, it's critical. That actually determines everything, because life is not about what happens, it's always how you respond to it.
Wow.
And so that's the reason why two people can go through the same exact thing, and one come up off top, and they come up with the rewards, and they come up and they have the revenue, and they're doing the thing that it was caused to do, while the other one is stuck, stagnant, and still, and because they didn't adjust to the thing that was going on. Because the things that God have go through our life, it's always to make us better, not to actually break us. It's to actually make us. And it's a crazy thing. So again, if I got two people go through, that's why somebody could go through a divorce and it kills them, and the other one can go through divorce and build a dynasty.
Right.
Because it's all in how they looked at it. One is saying, it happened to me. Oh, it happened to me. And the other one said, nah, this happened for me. I needed this moment to happen. Because sometimes the adjustment, you said something earlier. You said, what does the adjustment do? It's going to change your entire character. You need to adjust. You said just a little bit. It's just small adjustments that God is using you to make you better each moment in life. When life be lifing, it's all to make you better, but it's all perspective. And if you don't change your perspective, you're going to be on the short end of the stick. You're going to always be a victim and not victorious. And that's all because of the perspective.
Wow. All because I chose not to adjust my emotions.
Right.
Because, man, we can be driven. We can be driven in that area of emotion, in that area of unforgiveness. Listen, unforgiveness is simply an adjustment.
That's it. It's just an adjustment.
It's just an adjustment. I am choosing. Offense is simply an adjustment.
That's it.
I'm choosing not to. I'm going to pivot right through here. I'm not going to let that thing touch me. I'm just going to adjust. I'm going to scoot over just a little bit so I can see it for what it really is. That's and I think oftentimes we stay in situations longer than we need to stay. And we play after the whistle has been blown because we don't know adjustments. We don't know how to call a time out, even when it's us. Even when it's ourselves, there are times where I have to adjust my attitude. Now I'm gonna just tell you, I will roll a neck in a minute, right? But some of that is not necessary. You have to learn how to adjust. And I had to learn how to adjust, even in the corporate rooms, in the corporate world. Now, on the inside, of course, all that may be happening, but on the outside, I am adjusting to what is happening in the room. And when you learn how to adjust, whatever space that you're in, wherever situation you're in, it becomes a teacher because you've learned to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
You learn to adjust because this thing is teaching me something if I just simply change my perspective.
That's it.
Now, offline, we talked about, you told me, as we began to talk, you began to share with me about how one time you were in a car.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord told you to adjust and turn.
Yeah.
What happened? Tell us.
So I was headed to, I believe maybe a speaking engagement. I'm not quite sure that day that it happened, but I will say that I could hear the Lord softly say, turn right. And I was like, what? Like, that's the longer route. Like, why would you have me go this route? And then come to find out, I'd watched the news a little later, and there was a car accident on the very same street that God said adjust. And so sometimes we don't realize the adjustment is for protection. And it's and if we don't adjust, it can cost us greater later. And so we have to know how to adjust in situations because we don't know if it's God protection. And that take me to the story of the children of Israel. After God had rescued them from Pharaoh, right? It said that he took them the longer route. Could you imagine? Now we having a conversation. Can I just talk to you? Can you imagine how irritated, how bothered, how upset they was murmuring, complaining? I don't know why they got me walking this way. We done came this way. I'm sick of this. Y'all could have left me in Egypt. I'm tired of this Moses. Why'd you do this? This ain't because they refused, like you were talking about, the attitude to adjust the attitude. And here's what they didn't realize, that there was a battle right ahead of them that was bigger than the adjustment they had to go through had they just went through the adjustment. Ma'am, he said that I didn't take you that way because I knew that your enemies was waiting that way and you would have lost the battle and you would have went back to the very place I was bringing you from. So that small adjustment, because they perspective couldn't see the bigger picture, they had to wander in a situation, what you just said, longer than they should have been because they didn't adjust.
Listen, ma'am, you about to stir something in this. Stir it at this table, because there are times in life, because let's fast forward, because there's some lifeliners that are saying, well, that sounds like me. I didn't, and I kept on, and I refused to adjust, and now my life is in shambles. I've wrecked my life. But let me tell you something about even with a wrecked life. Even with a wrecked life, there is a term in the insurance world that's called an adjustment, where an adjuster will come out and will assess the damage. They will assess the damage to determine your payout.
Yes.
Let me talk to some lifeliners. I know you feeling all of this stuff, and it feels hard, and it feels like it's unfair, and it feels like you've been slighted. You feel like you've been overlooked. Honey, that is just you being adjusted for a bigger payoff. I need somebody that is listening to Dr. Amy and myself to be prepared for the adjuster.
Come on.
Get ready to pay you for all of the inconvenience, to pay you for all of the tears, just to pay you simply because you said, I'm going to move to the left. I'm going to let that pass. I could clap back, but I won't.
Come on.
I could tell my story, but I won't. Matter of fact, I could tell the truth, but I won't. I'm simply going to understand that this, again, as Dr. Amy said, it didn't happen to me. It happened for me, that I might know who I am. And oftentimes adjustments begin to show us what we're made of.
Yeah.
Wow. There have been times that even in marriages, adjustments make you chill. It make you know what you're made of. Parenting, adjusting from one kid to the other, let you know what you're made of.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Amy, I know our time is getting a little, it's moving a little further away from us. But if there was somebody that was listening and saying, you know what, I know I need to adjust and I'm having some difficulties adjusting, what's the first thing that I should do, or what is the first step that I could take to begin this adjustment process? Mind you, it's nothing huge. It's just a slight movement. What are some of the things you would recommend?
Well, I would say the first thing a person needs to do is sit down with themselves and ask yourself this question: what is it costing me not to adjust?
Ma'am, listen, we're going to go to commercial break. What is it costing me
not to adjust? Your adjustment is costing your peace. Your adjustment is costing you your destiny. Your adjustment is costing you your dynasty, your empire, your purpose, your anointing, your adjustment, because you are so accustomed to being with pigeons, you won't adjust to the eagle that you are. When God has been calling you to adjust, and you're so accustomed to being the big fish in the small pond, not knowing that if you put a shark in a shark bowl, it will only grow 6 inches. But if you put a shark in the ocean, it'll grow 6 feet. God is trying to adjust you to bigger, but yet you're so accustomed to small, you won't even let him make the adjustments he need. That when you take your clothes, right, to the place, like I had to get this jacket, and they called it alterations, meaning they're making adjustments to the initial size because it needs to fit. So God had a tailor-made assignment for you, but you won't let him adjust you. So you got to ask yourself, what am I losing by not making the adjustment? Like she said, what payout am I going to miss out on because I won't just adjust? Listen, we just adjust, because do you know that adjustment means to correct? And again, like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, it means to add. I just want to correct some stuff, meaning I'm correcting your actual size because you've been playing too small. I'm correcting your actual position because they got you in the wrong spot and they mishandling you because you've been a thing and you are a thing and you are a businessman. And I'm not talking about a business. You are the business. You are the product. You are something so amazing, but you keep adjusting to smallness, and God said, no, I gotta adjust you to bigger. So listen, if they could do anything, the first thing you do is sit down with yourself and say, what am I missing out on by refusing the adjustment that God had? Because only God makes adjustment, because the creator is the only one that can really work on the creation. And any person, place, or thing that happened to you is because God was actually stretching you and pulling you better. I hope that answers that's step number 1. We didn't even get to know the other steps, but I'm gonna let my sister jump in because I know she got something.
Step on, because that's really when we begin to sit and assess,
right?
We begin to now adapt to the yielding of my potential. Because there are sometimes in life, the adjustments come so that things could be, the pathway could be clear, that all the outside noise gets shut out. So now I'm left to find out who I am, who I know I could be, and begin to adapt and to conform, to become, to transcend into, to transfigure, to transform. That was one of my favorite cartoons, was the Transformers. Because yeah, on the outside I looked like one thing, but you back me against the wall. I'm going to transform into what I was and what was down on the inside of me all along. So adaptation, to adjust, causes one to transform if you take heed.
Right.
If you take heed to what is really happening. And there are sometimes in our lives, lifeliners, that sometimes the isolation, the period of being alone, it's really adjustments. You know, Dr. Amy talked about the adjustment or the alterations. When you have one that alters fine clothing, they don't do it in public. There is what they call a dressing room.
That's good.
That is between the one that is doing the altering and the one that is receiving the altering. Nobody gets to see the process. It's all done behind closed doors.
That's good.
Because the one who is altering is saying, I know how this garment should fit. Some of you guys have garments and you've been wearing them loosely. Because listen, there are times, I remember one time I lost so much weight, and in my mind, I thought I was still that size. But it wasn't until I went to the one that alters my clothes that they cut off a lot of the garment. Listen, how many of us are walking around with a garment of heaviness? We're walking around with the garment of pain. We're walking around with the garment of betrayal. And it is time, right? Listen, I sense it right through here. We're going to keep the Life with Lizzy show, but something creeping up on me. Listen, this is the moment that we allow great alterations and adjustments that we may be able to wear us without a hitch. Baby, wear you well, child. Wear that personality well. Wear your gift well. Baby, wear what you do like you do. Listen, there will never be another you. Come on, come close. Dr. Amy, could you tell them there will never be another you? Listen. I don't care how many people try to duplicate you. I don't care how many people try to sit there and figure you out. Listen, you're going to figure wrong. Why? Because as long as I am in this position, I have the right to adjust and to conform and to turn and to transform into what I'm supposed to become. Wear it well.
Right.
Wear your adjustments well.
Ooh, I know you love
got that. To say over there. Listen, you fixing your clothes. I know you got something to say. What is another step besides sitting with ourselves? In addition to adjusting in that space, what's another thing that an individual can do?
Well, first of all, they need to determine, after they've sat in that space, they need to determine what is it that needs to be adjusted. Is it your friends? Is it your boundaries? Is it your health? God gave me something so crazy. Watch this. And as you're talking about adjustments, I was in the gym the other day. And do you know God said that your next level is tied to you getting in the gym? It's tied to you making adjustments to your physique is your next level. And I was perplexed. I was like, I felt away, but I felt that thing. And he was like, look. And then I felt away. Let me tell you why I felt away with God, y'all. We having a conversation. I felt away because I was in that thing like jumping rope. Double Dutch, BBL or GM, BBL or GM, BBL or GM, BBL or GM, BBL. And God was like, no, you got to do it the hard way. Right. And that's when I was offended. I was mad with God. I was like, look, I say everybody else get to do it this way, but I got to do it the hard way. He said, because the hard way, listen, you're going to appreciate the hard way. The hard way is going to bring out the best in you. The hard way make it real. And so sometimes we looking at other people's life and we determine why they get to do it. Because guess what? What did we say earlier? Them adjustments, that small adjustment. He was like, look, if you do it the hard way, you don't even have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for it later when the adjuster come out. Because people are doing stuff the easy way. and find themselves paying for it the hard way later. And so one of the things is you got to assess. You just said the word, assess the areas that needs to be adjusted and adjust them. What is that area? There's different domains in life. Is it your faith that you failing at? Is it your finances? Is it your friendships? What is it? You see what I'm saying?
All of the above, child, adjust.
Adjust. But watch this. Here's the thing. Sometimes it's not every single domain you can have, because there's people you killing in this area, but you lacking in this area. Not knowing if you get disciplined in this area, every other area will be subjected to increase.
Yes. Oh, you just said a thing, baby. You just hit something here. And here's the thing, and that's where the fight comes in, because we make adjustment a big ordeal when it's really a small adjustment. It's something real small. It could be simply how you respond to a thing.
Right. And you just said one of the steps. Small. Quit. Don't listen. The small adjustments will alter the big reveal. Wow. It's like the small little things. I mean, man, what you been doing? Try being a little calmer. Try talking a little softer. Try being a little nicer. Try small things. If you're used to being late, start showing up on time. And watch this. Reward yourself. Applaud yourself. Celebrate yourself when you hit the small milestones.
Yeah. I like that. I like that, because I think what happens is when we're doing those small things, we forget to celebrate.
Right.
Life miners, whatever you do, while you're making these adjustments to become a better you. Listen, what is our motto here? The best you is the healed you. So in order for you to tap into that full wholeness, that the totality of your healing, you have to celebrate your small steps. Celebrate it. Pat your own self on the back, honey. Celebrate the fact that, you know what, I could have, but I chose not to. The power of choice while you're adjusting is going to be crucial. It's going to be crucial to sustainability. Yeah. How do I sustain in doing that? Well, guess what? Dr. Amy told us, reward yourself. Child. So when y'all see me with them new boots, just know I adjusted. I adjusted my finances and bought them.
Listen.
But no, it's real talk, because adjustment, it does require us to look at it from every angle. It requires us to, first of all, recognize that is something that needs to be done. How often do we just keep doing a thing and we just say, oh, that's just me. Right. That's just how I am. That's just what I do. Right. When in essence, you probably needed to adjust that, or we'll blame other people for our lack of adjusting, our lack of confronting us. Listen, we're talking about life, our life, not our life. To thy own self be true. Right. I've been very guilty of, I would rather put it off on somebody else, or to create a scenario, create some smoke and some mirrors, versus owning it. Own it, girl. It was you. You didn't adjust. You had a window of opportunity and you didn't take it.
So can I give them just one more thing before we close this show out? Sure. Thank you again for having me.
An honor.
The word adjust, write this down. Grab your pen, grab your paper, grab that journal that you just won from Miss Lizzy here. And so write this down. The word A, accept the situation and how you feel about it. D, disassociate yourself with what you thought, what you expected, what you wanted, what was the outcome. Because a lot of times we get stuck, Liz, because we are still attached to the outcome we thought we should have got. So you got to adjust from that. And we're doing the word adjust really quick, because I know we only got a few seconds. I'm sorry. I don't know if it cuts off.
You're fine. You're fine.
The next thing I want you to do is the D, is determine what you control and what you can't. Wow. Do not be focused on the stuff you cannot control. It's out of your control. Let God be God. What you can control, and what you can't. That's the D, right? Determine what you can control and what you can't. Then the J, she gave it to you. Journal those thoughts. Journal the process. Because guess what? The process gets you paid.
Two.
If you will journal the process, you can sell the process that is connected to a result.
Wow.
Any type of outcome. Why do you think God can take you through pain? Pain produces payment.
Payments.
And people do not realize that pain is necessary.
Yes.
And we had, the Bible says like this, it was good that I was afflicted.
Good.
Listen, then the U, use your support system, reach out to family and friends. That's how you adjust. Get around people like her. Watch stuff that only adds to who you are in that season. Quiet out every voice, all the noise, all the stuff, even yourself. Even ask God, drown out even my voice that is talking negative to myself. Like she said, dating yourself last week. Some of us talk so bad to ourselves. I can't do it. I ain't got enough. I ain't good enough. I ain't like everybody else. Cut it out. Use the support system. Get around some people that's going to speak life, that's going to prophesy to you, that is going to encourage you, that's going to build you up. Am I taking too long? Look, let me give you
fine. I just told you you're fine. You're fine.
The S is going to be stay positive. Listen, stay positive and focus on the opportunities of growth. Make sure you're paying attention to what you've done. God, listen, show me the errors in my ways, because we would hate for you to fail the test and you have to go through that same life situation. Pass the test the first time. Stay positive, stay focused on what God is doing, not what is happening. And so then I'll leave you with this is the T, is to take action, create a plan, and to make the proper changements. Lord, I done made up a word. The proper adjustment. And so I'm going to stop with that. You want to jump in there, ma'am, with anything I said? And that's your word, adjust. We broke it down by the word adjust.
Listen, this has been life-changing and life-adjusting. I hope on this day that something we have said, listen, that's going to get you through life. It's going to help you heal. It's going to help you be the best you that you can be. Dr. Amy, I want to say thank you so much for joining Life with Lizzy right here at Believe Radio. It's the place that we all come to for that good gospel inspiration. Listen, I'm so honored that you said yes. I think we're going to have Dr. Amy back, y'all, because I'm sure she has some more that she can download to us. We're so grateful for your yes. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to meet you backstage. One moment. Let me talk to the Lifeliners. So, y'all, I know that was hot, right? That was blazing, and I know you guys are ready to go to the next week, but you're ready to do it adjusting. Do me a favor. I want you guys to send me an email. Send me an inbox. Sharing with me some areas that you said, you know what, because I listened to this show, I'm getting ready to adjust X, Y, and Z. And guess what? You might get something in the mail from your girl, because I want to do life with you. I want to say thank you for tapping in. We have done life. And just remember, the best you is always going to be the healed you. Well, until next time, guess what? I holla.
A day is coming. There'll be no war. Peace will take over the land. No more broken heart, abandoned and alone. God will separate the right from wrong. Then we'll be changed.